Flick off your jandals, crack a cold one from the chili bin, chuck on some cans, and enjoy a Kiwi take on all things Arsenal.
Welcome along, everybody. We're back. Got Dave here again. Hello, Dave.
Hey, how's it going?
Wow, been better. Like I said to you, I've done away with my Arsenal gear today. I'm going with the Dial Square. I think that sums up about where I'm feeling about the Arsenal right now.
Yeah, same here, mate. Same here. I'm not sporting my colours. I didn't even sport it for the game. I think that's the reason why we lost. I wasn't wearing my lucky shirt. Like that's the reason we lost.
Yeah. I think there's many reasons why we lost. I mean, I don't really want to talk too much about the game. I don't know if anyone does want to talk too much about the game, but I figure we should still do this just to sort of keep in touch. And as I called it in the intro, it's a therapy session today, not a podcast. I think we all need a bit of a pick me up after the last couple of weeks.
It's been rough.
Yeah. So bring on the international break. So I've got a couple of people in the chat box for it. We've got Ian. I did have someone in the waiting room. I don't know if they're going to come back, but hopefully we'll get some of you guys on to have a chat as well. Join the link in the description of the live stream. Jump on, say hello, have your say, whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't have to be Arsenal. But yeah, if you want to kick off, I guess, briefly touching on the game, because I don't really want to talk too much about it. But what did you think of the lineup, I guess, to start with?
I must say I was pretty worried when it came out. I was pretty hopeful of the back three / back five, but the personnel I was worried about, having Cedric as the right wing back and Kolasinac as a centre half. I just looked at that and I just knew there was going to be problems. I mean, the whole thing with Kolasinac is actually, I sent a message in our group. It's something that I just struggle to understand. It's someone who we've been trying to get rid of for ages now, trying to even pay him off this week for him to leave the club. And then we put him in the starting line against Man City when we have a centre-back on the bench, as in Pablo Mari. Yeah, he wasn't that great against Chelsea, but at least he's a centre-back by trade. And then we've got a promising young centre-back who we paid a lot of money for, who's not even at the club. It's just complete mismanagement to me, how it's come to the situation where we're having to play a player we don't even want in place of players who should really be at the club, learning the trade and playing with a team. And I mean, you're telling me that Saliba wouldn't be able to get a chance this season?
Yeah, things are looking pretty good for them over in France. Off to, I guess, a winning start. Guendouzi scoring a pretty good goal. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend checking it out.
I haven't.
But yeah, definitely looks positive over there. So I don't see how they couldn't get into this team as it currently stands. Someone mentioning in the chat before we came on live about who was it? I think it was George. About we have got young signings that kind of indicate we're on a good track in the future, and I sort of agree. Like, we have got some really good young promising players on paper. Whether they all come to fruition is another thing, but yeah, do we have the right person in charge to lead a youthful side? I'm starting to have doubts.
Well, I mean, we watched the game together, right? We were actually in a video chat together and watched the game. It was very quiet. We weren't really saying much to each other. I think we were just like, oh, there's another goal. Oh, there's another goal.
the chat and the drinking got me through the game. That was about it.
It was just knowing that someone was there that if I wanted to vent, they would listen. It kind of helped me through it. If I was watching it by myself, I probably wouldn't have watched it. I probably would have just had it on the background, and then I would have started doing something else, maybe playing Football Manager or something.
Yeah.
But
Look, sorry, I'll just cut you off there. Gentleman, he's come back, so we'll jump him into the stream just to have a chat and include him in the discussion, just so he's not waiting too long. Hello, are you there? Oh, looks like we haven't got him.
good, Max.
Got no audio. All right, we'll try again soon.
Are you on mute? Anyway,
We'll try again soon. But sorry, go on.
No, yeah, you're talking about the younger players. Yeah, it's awesome that we're trying to build for the future. But yeah, it's just a matter of having someone. It's very specialized trade managing a team that's full of young players, because you're having to build them up from the bottom. A lot of them are raw talents. Yeah, there are talents, but a lot of them are raw. They need to be sculpted into the correct mold. I don't really want to talk about is Arteta the right man for the job? He's there at the moment. I honestly think that getting rid of him now would be a huge mistake. What would the point have been keeping him on as manager for the whole of the transfer window, and then just to get rid of him in September or November? You know what I mean? So I don't really want to talk about that. It is what it is. He's there. We just want to. He needs to find a way to get the best out of these players, and he needs to find a way to actually have some sort of system in place.
Yeah. So I guess going back to the starting lineup.
Oh yeah.
You touched on Kolasinac, which boggles me. But with these promising players, how are we even getting close to Kolasinac and Xhaka? Although we've given him a new contract, so that might explain it. Chambers, even how are these guys even getting close to the starting 11 when we've been trying to get rid of them?
Well, one thing is, I think, injuries. We've got Ben White and Gabriel. If they were fit, Kolasinac and Chambers probably wouldn't be playing. Or maybe Chambers would be playing as centre back. So that's one excuse. But it's just, what makes me angry is that we've got into a situation where we're having to rely on these players who we wanted out of the club, when we have players who I'd much rather see. Someone, I know I'm going to bang about Saliba, but I'd rather you giving a chance to a younger centre back. Yeah, he's 19 years old, but who cares? Throw him in. They got to learn somehow, right? Instead of loaning him out and then playing Kolasinac, someone who we know is not good enough. He's not going to improve. It's not like, oh yeah, he can still improve and become a better player. No, that's who he is. That's who he's going to be. He's already developed as a player. That's who he is. I'd rather be giving this game time to someone who has the potential to improve.
Yeah, well, even on the bench, you say injuries, but even on the bench, we've got Martinelli, who hasn't been great, but he's still got more promise than some of the guys. Tavares has been good. Could have been played in front of Cedric.
I have that also baffled me.
Lokonga being really good going forward, and in the first few weeks benched. Even Murray, people don't particularly rate him highly, but surely you'd be playing him in front of someone like Kolasinac, who isn't a centre half.
Absolutely. Why was Pablo Mari not playing? Yeah, he had a stinker against Chelsea, but at the moment he's one of the only centre backs that we have. So why play him? Why not play him? Why are you playing a left back, a pretty average one at that, as centre back instead of just playing an average centre back? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So you're taking an average player, taking him out of his position that he knows, and then putting him into a different position, and then expecting it to be better than Pablo Mari.
Yeah. Well, we've got another David waiting patiently there, so let's bring him in. So our first, I guess, guest on this format we'll be having. So welcome, David.
Hey, how are you?
Oh, hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Hello. Whereabouts are you calling in from?
Yeah. Just as I'm very well, thank you. Just as Northcote Point.
I think we're losing you. The connection's not very good, Dave.
Did you hear that?
No, we didn't hear it all. Yeah,
Hello?
the connection's really bad.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. It's just a bit patchy.
You're breaking up a bit.
Okay, well, yeah, just carry on and let me watch.
Okay, maybe just put in the chat what you wanted to say, and then we'll say it out. Just type in the chat. All right. Well, yeah.
But yeah, anyone else wanting to have a talk, click the link. We'll try and get you on. Hopefully, the internet connection's going to improve there for David. But yeah, I mean, as Ian said, I guess it didn't really matter who played last night. I don't think it would have made a difference. It did feel very much like a game that we saw at the end of Emery's time, where there was just no direction. No one was playing for the club. Like, they weren't playing as if they cared.
It
so
honestly,
I guess it doesn't matter who was playing, because if they're going into the game with that mindset, and the mindset of, well, we're going to lose this anyway, which it looked very much like a lot of those players had. I guess it wouldn't have mattered who was playing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it did look like we kind of walked onto that pitch knowing we were going to lose. But it's like, it's one thing losing, but it's one thing. You can lose well. You can lose by playing good football. We lost by completely just capitulating and giving in to them. I mean, the goals that we conceded, it was an absolute joke. Two of the shortest players on the field score headers. How does that work? And uncontested headers as well. It's not like, I mean, they were pumping in, cross after cross. It's not like they were, we were marking them, or we were kind of getting to the ball first. They were having free headers inside the box. Like Gundogan's goal, he's basically by himself. Who was the other header? I can't remember, but I mean, it's just time and time again, we were just not getting close to the ball at all. You got Holding, who's one of the tallest players on the pitch, couldn't get close to any of those crosses. It was just the manner in which we lost. It was just feeble. It just made me angry. If they won by scoring amazing goals, I would have been able to accept that. But it's just their goals they scored were just super easy. We just made it so easy for them. We basically just put it on a platter for them. That's just what made me angry. It's just the manner in the goals that we conceded was just abysmal.
Yeah. First goal? Who was it? Gundogan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Jesus chasing down a long ball? They got it in, and Gundogan at back post. I don't know how that even makes it, to the back post, but second one, not much better. Cedric, I have no idea what he was doing. He was in the perfect position at the edge of the box to stop that ball coming in, and he just I don't even know what he was trying to do, but
it was an absolute shit show. Talking about players who are on the bench, I mean, most of the team I would have agreed with. I would have played Xhaka in the middle. I mean, I don't know how you could not play him. He is one of the most experienced and probably physically one of the stronger players. I think if we had put someone like Lokonga in there, it just would have been a baptism of fire. I don't think that would have helped anything putting him in.
Yeah. We've got someone else to jump in here. Let's try again. Is it Ronak?
Hi, I'm Ronak.
Hey, Ronak.
Can you hear me?
How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. What do you want to talk about?
Anything that's possible that can get Arteta out of the club.
Anything but Arsenal?
Anything that's possible to get Arteta out of the club because he's literally ruining the club, according to me.
Yeah, you say that, man, but I mean,
Who do you want in to replace him?
yeah.
To be honest, I think Antonio Conte would be a good decision to get him on the board because he's the only one that's available right now, and he's the only one who can make good out of this Arsenal defense because the defense is just a shambles right now. And watching the match last night, I was like, oh God, not again. Especially the first two goals. I mean, 3-4-5 was pretty normal for Arsenal because they were 10 men down. It was just a stupid tackle. And then the first two goals, I mean, Chambers and Cedric. Cedric is someone who I used to rate, but after watching him yesterday, I don't rate him anymore. I feel that this club literally needs a good coach everywhere, to be honest. Not just a head coach, but a good defensive coach, a good goalkeeper coach, a good striker coach. I don't know what not. It's just needs all the upgrades right now, and we cannot really do anything about that unless and until the board takes a decision. And if the board is trusting Arteta right now, it's pretty hard for us to enjoy even a single match. I mean, if you compare this match to the West Brom match, it was nothing because West Brom were not even playing their A team, they were playing their B team. And if some of the fans think that after beating them 6-0, we're going to go on to the Etihad and at least try and get a point, it was not possible. And when you look at the lineup, you see Kolasinac, the first name that came in my mind. I was like, what the heck is he doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you look at Kolasinac, as someone who wants to, we are trying to get him out of the club, and we cannot even get him out. And now we're giving him a start, and he's not even an Arteta signing. Arteta signing was Mari. I don't rate Mari that much as well, but at least he's better than Kolasinac. But to be honest, yeah, sorry, go on, please.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's like, yeah, he might not be the best centre back, but at least he's a centre back, right? I mean, it's better than just taking a very average left back and then putting him in the centre and then expecting him to do well. I totally agree with you. Murray should have started.
I think Tierney could have been a better left centre back, and Kolasinac, if we tried to put him left wing back, that would have made more sense because Kolasinac cannot defend. I can defend better than him.
Yeah, and we know he can play there, right? Tierney has played there before.
Exactly. And Tierney is someone who actually plays for the club, and I don't think Kolasinac wants to stay in this club. Pretty sure he's going to go to Ozil. And yeah, I mean, if we compare this lineup to what Wenger used to have, it's just shambles right now. And I can't believe that we're giving Arteta so much chance. If we've given these many chances to Emery, he would have done way better than what Arteta is doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Emery's at least got experience as a manager.
Exactly. I mean, it's too big of a project for Arteta, I feel.
You can't judge them based off, Wenger's time, but we can now compare Emery and Arteta. He's been there, I think, long enough where, that's the bar. Like, if you can't improve us on Emery, then,
I mean, if you look at the budget that was given to Emery, that's nothing to what's compared to what's being given to Arteta. I mean, they obviously trust him way more than how they trusted Emery. And now if you look at him, he's doing worse. I mean, this is Arsenal's worst start in 67 years or something I was reading, 1954.
Worst ever, I think.
Yeah, and you see we're already -9 on GD. And if you look at us, we're bloody bottom, 20th. And that's not something what we are made of. We definitely have a better squad than where we are right now. And I don't know what's going to happen in the next game. It's good that we're playing Norwich, relegation battle. So
yeah, you touched on a good point there. That I don't think the team is terrible. We've actually got some really good players and players who can, who I think can actually do well for the club. It's just I think they're not too sure what they're doing. It's just the last 3 games have showed that. I mean, how we have been comprehensively beaten in all 3 games. It just doesn't make sense to me, right?
Yeah, especially Brentford. If you look at Brentford, we actually had a decent squad to play against them. No one expected us to lose from Brentford, and we lost 2-0 without even creating a single chance. I mean, we did create in the second half, but nothing in the first half.
Yeah.
Chelsea and City, I agree, because they're like miles better than us at the moment. But at least we were giving a fight against Chelsea. We were trying to, not giving a fight. But against City, it was just like, it was men against boys.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, yeah, you could say that it was the red card that kind of killed it for us, but we were already 2-0 down at that point and being completely overrun. But I mean, what do you think of that red card? What was Xhaka thinking? Completely, he's just showing who he is, right? 2 feet off the ground,
Yeah.
flying into a tackle. This is crazy.
I mean, whenever I discuss about Xhaka with my friends, I always am someone who protects him because I think he's a really good footballer. I really like him as a footballer, but it's just his stupidity to always go for the 2 foot because this is not his first red card. This is like his 5th or 6th red card in an Arsenal jersey.
I think it's his fourth. I think it's his fourth one.
Or 4th in the Premier League.
Oh yeah.
And it's always
Well-
it's always when we least need it as well. You know, it's always in the big games, in those moments where we're already down, and he just kicks us into the gutter.
There was literally no need to make this tackle when you're 2-0 down and you're going for a 2-footed tackle. Although it was a clean tackle, but it's still 2-footed. I mean, he took the ball, but 2-footed is just a red card in nowadays in these rules. And he just put that he's the most experienced player in the team, in the midfield. And he got off, and we didn't have anyone to support. And brought El Neni on, and El Neni, I don't know, he just runs, he doesn't do anything. Should have got Lokonga on. At that
I guess
point.
was the problem with our setup yesterday was we were relying on Xhaka as our pretty much only midfielder.
Exactly.
And he's shown before that in his setting, what he's good at, but he's not good at defending. And
that's true.
He's not good at being that base in the midfield. And the way we set up yesterday with 3 and then him in front of them was, I guess never going to work because he was basically forced to defend. And we know that's not what he's good at.
He needs someone like Partey to support him because Partey is someone who can defend. And Partey is someone who looks forward, just like Xhaka as well. But I don't know if they both will be a partnership or it will be Lokonga and Partey. We got to wait and watch until he's fit enough to play now.
That's a positive for Norwich, isn't it? We're forced to play Partey and Lokonga if they both fit.
I'm really waiting for Gabriel to come back because Gabriel and White can turn out to be a good partnership. But both are young, to be honest. But I think looking at Chambers, Holding, Pablo Mari, I can only see Gabriel and White playing in that centre-back position.
Agreed. I think that's the way the club want to go forward in the future. Definitely.
Yeah, that's true. We really need to sort out the right-back position because all 3 of them are just average. I mean, look at Bellerin, what he's become now. Chambers, he's not a right-back. Cedric, he's not good enough for the team. Left-back is still okay because we have Tierney, but right-back is somewhere we have to buy someone or just make sure that we're at least good in that position because all 3 of them, they're just average.
Yeah, extremely average.
I'm going to bring in Mike here as well. He's actually joining us.
Hi,
Mike.
G'day.
How are we doing, Mike?
You guys over it yet, or what?
Over what?
All I've got to comment on at the moment is your Dial Square FC shirt looks grouse. Did they spell your name right on it?
No. I've got a marker pen. I'm going to have to get a marker pen and just add the S on the end. It's a little bit cheap looking when you get it in person, but
Okay, right. Okay.
they play with more passion than Arsenal, so... Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, I did. I stayed up. Probably like you guys did. We were chatting, remember? Or
I've
blanked it all out of your memory.
I've tried to block it all out. Did you make it through the whole 90?
I did. I must admit, my attention wavered towards the middle of the second half, and I started playing on my phone while I was watching. It's God, it was disappointing, wasn't it?
Completely sad.
Like if any of you listen to the preview pod that Corey and I put up, you'll know that I knew we were going to lose. But it was the apparent lack of interest, effort, desire. Just I don't even know why they were there. I mean, that second goal, we kind of just let them just walk straight through. Like it was like, here you go, have a goal.
Yeah, it's. I said it's like, yeah, you can you can lose, but you can also lose, well. We just handed it to them. I mean, I would have been happy with a loss if we just tried and we made them work for it. We didn't make them work for it at all. It was just so easy.
I saw someone on Twitter say that I'd rather relive the 8-2 loss again, because at least that team tried.
Yeah,
which is
they scored
sad.
2 goals.
Well, it's like I said to Dave last night, looking back on like the 6-3 against City a couple of years ago and all those games where we used to, hate it because we were so open, and at least it was entertaining. At least we were contributing to the game as an attacking team, but now it's just, like last night was just one way.
George Davis has just commented saying, disappointing, but majority of us knew it would happen. Not by 5. Well, I predicted 4. I thought it was going to be a 4-0 loss. So I was close, but it is very just the way they performed, and then to come out as a captain and a coach afterwards and say we need to look at ourselves and have a chat together. Surely, like that's 101 of being part of a professional football team, right? You shouldn't have to put in a shitty ass performance like that and then come out and say we're going to have a chat about it.
So I'm just going to move things on a little bit. We've got some other people waiting in to join as well.
Sorry.
So no, you're right, Mike.
Sorry,
I just have to say, shamelessly coming onto our show and plugging your podcast before.
Hey, we gave you guys some ups on our preview, so.
No, all good, Mike. So we'll let you go because no one wants to see your face on here. But thanks for joining.
Thanks. Cheers.
But you guys doing a show later in the week? Another podcast?
We'll be doing a preview of. There's an
because we've got international
break.
break. So are you guys going to do one before?
I think we were talking about potentially doing a transfer window wrap. Whether or not it's going to be a positive end to the transfer window for us or not, if there's going to be some outgoings or whatever, we'll see. But Corey and I will have a chat about transfer windows and whatever this week. But we'll see how we go. Dave, we might bring in your expertise on the old transfer window.
Mate, I'm always I'm an open book, dude. I'm an open book.
We know you love having a chat about transfers. So.
Cool, man.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right.
See you later.
Cool. Cheers, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
And we have Amit.
Cool, man. All right. Yeah, we'll talk.
Hey, everybody.
Cool. Cheers, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
I'm gonna just turn the sound down there, mate.
How are you all?
Yeah, we'll talk.
How are you all?
Cool. Cheers, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for adding
I'm
me.
gonna just turn the sound down there, mate.
Oh.
How are you all? Cheers, Mike. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for adding
I'm
me.
gonna just turn the sound down there, mate.
Oh.
We'll come back to Amit. Turn the sound down, Amit, and we'll bring you back on. Ronak, so what else can we do from here? Do you want to see any more transfers like we did after the 2 couple of years, or is it too late for that?
I think we should at least get Jose Mawar from Lyon, because he's the only one who might be interested in joining Arsenal right now, because we need a centre mid. I think this team is dying for a centre mid right now, because I don't think anyone else coming into the club right now. It's only him. And outgoings, obviously, there's going to be Kolasinac, likes of Nketiah, Reece Nelson, and those all. They will leave because they have no part in the club anymore. But I think it will be really a good boost to have Awar or one or more signings, because all this club needs right now is a big boost, and the only boost we can get is signings right now.
I mean, we honestly need a right back, right? I honestly would have considered playing Tavares there yesterday. I know he's not a right back. He's actually a left back, but we know that Arteta's not shy about using him there, which he has done already.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, every time he's come on, he's looked lively. It looks like he looks hungry, and that's what we want. We don't want to play players who have already been here for so long and are kind of a bit bored. They're like, don't really want to play, want to actually leave. I mean, put someone on who's just come to the club, who's hungry, wants to prove himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was thinking if Arteta might have tweaked it yesterday by putting Tierney at left centre back and Tavares at left wing back, we would have got so much freedom going forward because Tavares is someone who just wants to go forward. As much as we've seen him for the first two games, we cannot really judge him so soon. But this would have been a better duo than Kolasinac at left centre back and left wing back is Tierney. Of course,
Yeah.
the right side is not sorted at all.
No, the right side is a shambles. We definitely need to bring someone in there because, I mean, he obviously doesn't want to use Bellerin. Bellerin has been our number one right back for how many years
Yeah.
now, and he's kind of just
Yeah.
sent to the wayside. So that technically means that we need someone urgently in that position.
Yes. I mean, looking at Bellerin right now, he's pretty much done for the club. I don't think he really cares about the club anymore.
But we know that Arteta's not shy about.
It's interesting though because you got Kolasinac who clearly wants out of the club.
Yeah.
And here he is in the starting lineup. Bellerin's not even in the matchday squad. So yeah, it seems like the way the club is at the moment, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that obviously we won't know about.
Yeah, that's true.
And certain players obviously may have what's the word?
Checked out.
Well, checked out, but also burned their bridges because it looks like
He's
Bellerin's
mentally
just
checked out.
Bellerin's off the table. Who else?
It's definitely Reece Nelson and
Nelson.
Eddie Nketiah.
I was surprised to see Maitland-Niles come back into the team yesterday because
Yeah,
he's
that's
been in the background as well. But it seems like there's definitely some, I guess, politics going on behind the scenes because, it doesn't all seem right.
I think we might have just kept Joe Willock in the squad because I think if only someone who deserves a chance, that's Joe Willock because he's the one who's been performing really well for Newcastle, and he's the only player in Arsenal right now who can play box to box. There's no other player who can play box to box apart from him. So if someone deserves a chance, it was him. But we got good business out of him because we sold him for 25 million or something. So that's good money.
Yeah.
Now sorry, what?
No, that's all right. I was just going to say, it looks like we got Amit back without the background noise. So,
Sorry about that.
can you hear us?
Me. What can I say? It's still not sunk in yet. It was absolutely train wreck of a performance. There's no passion for the badge. And nowadays our defense is absolute shambles. And I'm not a person who screams the manager should be sacked, but I think Arteta is out of his depth here. I think Arsenal is not a club where you can give a rookie manager time to experiment. Really, our defense is in shambles, and I don't know why Lokanga was not played yesterday. Xhaka is a liability from what I see. He's a great player, not that, but he goes too footed, too rash, too brazen. Doesn't think. That's all I had to say. It's just heartbreaking to see the club this way, week in, week out. And we should be beating teams like Brentford and things. And Manchester City were also, they're very strong, but I thought we will lose, but not like this. I can accept losing, but not this way. This is very bad.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, you touched on the point there that this is such a difficult job. I mean, taking over from Wenger, we gave it to quite an experienced manager, and he couldn't do it. And then we've given that to someone who's never managed before. It's just, I think he is completely well out of his depth. This will be a difficult job for the most experienced manager.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of contributing to him just failing because I just don't think he knows exactly how to get out of this rut that we're in. Talking about Lokonga, I think it would have been a hard game to put Lokonga in. He's still very young, relatively inexperienced within the league. And I was thinking about it when Xhaka got sent off, who we'd bring on, and the only person I would have actually brought is Elneny. I think bringing Lokonga in that sort of environment would have been like a baptism of fire. It would have dented his confidence, I think.
Yeah,
But
that's
you
true.
also rightly said that, right? At least put people in who have the passion and who wants to do something for the club, right? It's a baptism of fire, but they will have to experience that at some stage. But when you see, a lot of players are not playing at all. They're not even trying. That's what is a heartbreak. And Runak, to come to your point about Antonio Conte being replaced, being got in, I don't think he will tolerate any nonsense with our board. Our board is absolutely ambitionless, rudderless, and incompetent. That's
Yeah,
what
the one
happened.
thing I really feel that why we should get someone like Antonio Conte, because he's a defensive-minded coach. He makes sure that he has those type of defenders who really play for the club as well. And if you look at his past record, what he made out of Chelsea in 2016 was definitely something worth considering, because he made Alonso look like a world-class player who was playing for Sunderland before that. And you never know, he gets the best out of Pablo Mari, because I don't think he's that bad, but he's just super slow for Premier League. So, sorry, what?
And you're right. Also, when he pulled out Juventus out of the rut they were in, so he would have been a good choice. But if you look at his managerial history, he falls out with the boards, with the
Yeah,
targets. And
yeah,
our
that's
board, as
true.
we know, are not that accommodating. And
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents about it.
I think one
Well,
of
I'll
the
ask you
reasons why,
both though.
yeah,
Sorry, I'll just ask you both. So you say Conte, he's a very short-term solution, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. But do you guys want to go and be a club like Chelsea, who changes their manager every 2 or 3 seasons? Do you have someone in mind who maybe long-term can come in after Conte or something? Because I don't see Conte as being a 5, 6 year manager.
yeah,
He'll be here for 2 years max, 3 years max.
Even
Yeah.
then, 2 or 3 years to get ourselves out of this rut, then we can actually start to again completely rebuild with right set of players and right set of people. If we can at least give us the foundation for that next couple of years, get back to the winning ways, then wouldn't you think it would be good?
well, if not winning ways, at least ways to compete for the top four, because right now we are just far, far away from the top four, and it doesn't feel like what we used to see Arsenal 3, 4 years ago, when we were always competing for the top four, and now it just feels like top eight, top 10, don't know, maybe this season top 15.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know. It's only-
We can
yeah.
we can only hope based on
Yeah.
current form. But yeah, I mean, long term, what do you want to see the club go back to? Do you want to see them to bring in someone younger, like in Arteta, but after we've got the club back into a
Yeah, right
manageable
now, I
position,
think
or
right now, if I'm the Arsenal board, I would want to see this club get on his foot again, try to sign some good players, try to sign a better manager. Let's say if we go ahead and get Antonio Conte, he's someone who's not a long-term solution, but he's someone who can get the club in the right shape. He's someone who can get in good players, and he's someone who can actually help us, if not achieve a trophy or just get into the top four. So, if not a long-term solution right now, let's just think of a short-term solution for Arsenal, because I don't see this club going down and down again and again, because it's really hard for us to watch us get beaten by Brentford and get beaten by City 5-0. So I would say, if not Antonio Conte, just get someone who's actually good in defensive, because we need a defensive coach, a better defensive coach right now, because it's the defense that's creating the problem. I see that we have a decent attack. It's not the worst attack in the world. It's actually an attack that can get a lot of goals and lots of assists. But if you look at the defense, they just don't help.
it's funny though, because towards the end of last season, I think George mentioned it in the chat, we had the 3rd best winning rate, and the reason for that was our defense, and it was our attack that wasn't performing. It's still a state case that our attack isn't performing, but our defense has also gotten worse.
Yeah.
I know we can put in the fact that, you know, we've had our 2 possible starting centre backs injured, but the attack possibly is an issue, because for the last year it hasn't been firing. It's been our defense that kept us in the games last year. I don't disagrry that we've got good players, but do you think we're missing something, or it's just now got our our Odegaard in? Do you think that may bring our attack back? We just got to hope that our defense comes back in and performs.
Yes. I think the creative midfield is where I think we need to build even more. I think getting OR would be a good one. Him and Odegaard will give us that creativity. I think I like Odegaard as a player. He's really good. And to answer your question about what I want long term, my opinion is just get this short-term build for a couple of years, but go back the Arsenal way and bring in a manager who can actually stay there for a while and build a legacy. That's what I want to see Arsenal future for Arsenal. Don't want to be like Chelsea, chopping and changing manager every 3 months and every year.
Yeah, but it's doing the job for them. They are winning trophies and they are spending good money. They're good with business. So I won't really mind that. But of course, because I've grown up only seeing Arsene Wenger, so I'm pretty much biased towards the side that we should have one manager. But right now, how football has become, it's just that if you're not good enough, you just have to leave and someone will replace you at the end of the day. But I don't know why Arteta is not leaving. Maybe the board trusts him too much and the board just wants him to succeed in the future years. But if they want him to succeed in the future, he's ruining the present, because at present we just look like a championship team.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the board. I mean, that's probably, if not a bigger issue. Ian also put in the comments about it being, we need to get Stan out before we can even consider fixing the mess that is the team. But
yeah,
and I sort of, I think it'll be out on Monday. I did a bit of a write-up about the possible Qatari takeover that come out in the media. I don't want it. But I also am not saying that I want to keep KSE. I just don't want the Qatari. But what would you guys feel, or how would you feel about the situation if they took over?
I don't want that oil money coming in. Let's win it the Arsenal way. It's never been dumping billions of oil money into it. I just don't accept that. But I'm with you on that. I don't want our club going down the road of Manchester City or Chelsea, even though they're getting trophies. I don't think they're winning trophies. They're buying trophies. So that's my 2 cents about it. It's not the way to win. I would more respect clubs like Juventus who have the legacy and who have built it from the scratch. And Arsenal is like that. And I am with you on that. I don't want oil billions, even though I need the chronics gone. They're just sucking the life out of the club.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should pretty much get some money in the club, if not all money, because we need a leader who's ready to spend. I mean, because if we have so many young players right now, they're obviously for the future, but in order for them to learn, they need experienced players around them. We need a tiny bit of experienced players to make sure that they're actually helping the young players out. Because if we give this club to young players right now, they're gonna learn. They're gonna definitely learn. But what about the present right now? We're just gonna feel like we're not happy with 8th, 9th, 10th. We want to be in top 4 again. And if we're only looking at young players right now, they are for the long-term solution, but they're not the short-term solution, which is gonna be really sad for us at the moment. So yeah, I really feel that we should get some money in the club. Of course, Kroenkes are sucking the life out of Arsenal, but what can we do as supporters? We can only hope for the best at the moment.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, So it seems like the club's definitely going the route of buying young and hopefully looking for the future. I mean, would you guys be happy with, finishing top 10 for this season and maybe a little bit better next season, and then changing for the title, or changing for at least top 4 in the next 3 seasons with a very young team who have been here for like 3 years, work together, learn together? Would you guys want to see that happen, or do you want the success or us to be in Champions League this year or next year?
I'm with you, Dave. I don't mind the gradual progress. I really want to see the gradual progress. I don't need the instant gratification of we have to be in Champions League this season. Now, but as you rightly said, we are building the core of the team is very young, and I'm very optimistic about the future of our club. But I don't the gradual progression, what you mentioned, I don't mind if we are top 10 now, maybe top 6 next year, or top 4 a year after, as long as the young core gels together and we get a really good team and players who play for the badge. I don't mind waiting a couple of years, if so be it.
Yeah.
I mean,
What do you
I
think,
think it
Ronak?
was you, Ronak, who mentioned, we can't leave the club in the hands of a young squad, but can we leave the club in the hands of a young manager, young
No,
director
not
of
at all.
football, young inexperienced executive officer who none of them have ever done, football in a sense on that level.
Now, I feel that the club needs to get back on its foot by getting some experienced players and getting some experienced manager in right now, because Arteta, he might be a good manager in the future, but for that, I don't think Arsenal is the right project for him. He needs to get into a lower team so that he can build himself up. And if you're given someone like Arteta such a big job to do it, because Arsenal is not a small club, it's a huge club, and it always will be. And if you give someone like Arteta that type of a job, he's definitely not going to pass. He's definitely going to fail. And that's what we see the results at the moment. Because he's young, I don't know why that's why he's getting young players. But if you compare the squad with Manchester United squad, I mean, you look at that squad, you see that they're signing world-class players, even though Ole doesn't have that much of an experience. But how are they able to sign and how are we not able to sign? That's just beyond my expectation at the moment. But yeah, anyway, I got to leave right now because I got to be somewhere at 5:30. So I might join you guys next time. When is the next time we're doing this?
After every game, we're going to try and do one. So basically, depending on the kickoff time, like last night, there was no way we're obviously going to do one straight after. But yeah, if there's a 7 o'clock a.m. kickoff, we'll do one maybe straight after or an hour or two after. But yeah, after every game, we'll probably try and do one.
Well, I'll try my best to join each and every one of them. And it was nice chatting with you guys. So I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks for joining
us. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
I mean, we can talk as much about, like I said, Arteta and the players, but I feel like it's not going to change at all because our people above him are also young and inexperienced. See, the problem I've got with KC at the moment, with the Cronkies, is not that they're not spending money, because they are. We've just spent $130 million in this window alone.
Correct.
There's just no accountability and there's no passion from the very top to actually correct the fundamentals. You know, there's no point spending the money if from the very top no one knows what they're doing. So if they turn around and start putting some effort into that side, that can probably bear with them, as opposed to going down the oil money route, because I just don't want that at all. But something's got to change from the very top. I'd like to see the end of KSE, but I just don't know where that's going to come from.
That's true. And I read a recent report today that they are lining up Mark Overmars as our executive to replace Edu. I think he has done a stellar job in Ajax. I think he would be a good one, and he knows the ethos of the club as well. Somebody who can, at least, even if Arteta is there, somebody who can give a direction. He has been there, done that. He's been successful with Ajax in that same transfer specialist or transfer manager or whatever it's called. So if they get him in, I think at least I feel we can stem the rot a bit at least. But as you said, KSE needs to go. The board needs to go. Vinay Venkatesham needs to go. We need to get some football people in. And Thierry Henry, on all those ex-players who know the club in and out. Like Ajax have done the same. They've got their ex-players back in and they have built the club back again. So I would rather see Arsenal go down that path.
Agreed. It's just, I think just having Edu, who's relatively inexperienced in that role, having Arteta, who's relatively inexperienced, Vinay, who has no footballing background, it's just, I mean, that's where I think the problem is, really. It's just no one actually, to me, knows what they're doing. That's what it seems like. Everyone's just kind of guessing. That's the problem. I mean, I don't want to talk about game, the manager and whatever, but just take Chelsea for an example. They also hired a club legend the same time we hired Arteta, and it wasn't going well. They didn't have any sort of sentimental, there wasn't any sentimentality towards that. They just got rid of him as soon as things were going bad. There was no, but he's a club legend or whatever like that. He was probably a bigger legend than what Arteta is to Arsenal. And they didn't hesitate to get rid of him. So it's just kind of that mentality for me, that's ruined the club. It's just the inability to make decisive decisions quickly and when they need to. They dwell on decisions and they and ah about, and they're like, oh, maybe if we would just wait and hang on a little bit, it'd be better. Instead of just saying, okay, it's not working. This needs to change. That needs to change. You know what I mean? It's just total procrastination.
Nah, 100% agreed. I think the balance needs to be found as well, isn't it? We can't just keep firing the managers, but as you said, there is no accountability. That's what I think is eating away at the club. Nobody is held responsible. Even before Edu came in, we had Millenstadt. He was a good guy. He was a good transfer negotiator. They could have put him in charge of the transfers, and he bought some good players in.
Well, that was the
go as well.
Yeah, well, that was the politics behind it, right? He wanted to become a chief executive, but I think Raul Sanyehi, it was that whole thing where he was promised a job but then didn't get it, and then he decided to leave. So again, it's just complete politics. And it was the person who blocked that was fired from the role anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have loved to have kept him. I mean, the things that he's done in terms of recruitment at Borussia Dortmund and I mean now is at Stuttgart, right? And Stuttgart, is he at Stuttgart? I think so.
Not
And I
sure.
mean, he would have done. Yeah, we would have at least had some pretty good players. I mean, he brought in Torreira, he brought in Mavropanos, Guendouzi. I mean, Guendouzi definitely. We all know that he had immense talent. It's just his attitude wasn't there. Yeah, Torreira, you could see that he had great talent. He knew how to play football. It's just, I think, other mitigating circumstances stopped that from happening. But I think, Sven Mislintat would have been someone good to keep around the club.
This is the thing from past 5 to 10 years, all the decisions, like you're letting good people go, they're letting good people go, they're bringing in experienced people. And even when Wenger left, we saw what happened with Manchester United. When a manager like that leaves, you need to have a structure built, or at least close to being built before that, to fill that vacuum that's left. We didn't learn from Manchester United, and you're losing, and we have lost all the experienced people. And I think that's where, as you rightly pointed, the rot lies. The accountability is not there anymore.
Exactly.
Completely agree. Where to from here? What do you think we'll end up doing for the rest of the season, Amit?
I don't think we'll get into top 4. Realistically,
That's a very bold statement.
Well, pretty confident with that one, eh?
we do have a really good squad. I'm not gonna batter the players. There are good players. If we get going and if Arteta makes right decisions, I still think we would be top 6. At least I'm a ever positive person, so I still think Arsenal can at least get into top 6 out of those spuddies. So anything to do finish above them. It's been a while now. So let's get St. Totteringham's Day happening again. That would give a bit of a smile in a bad season, I guess. That's
Absolutely.
my expectations for this season.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think when we did our podcast for the season preview, Dave, I think there was a bit of our bias towards Arsenal coming out. I think we all had them in the top 5 or 6.
I think I said 7.
Be blown out of the water. I think now, top 10 would be. You wouldn't be happy with top 10, but it's going to be tough to even get top 10 the way things are going.
I don't think anyone would be happy with top 10. Yeah, if the way it's going now, if we get top 10, it'll be achievement, but no one's going to be happy about it. Not going to be like, oh, thank goodness we got top 10. We're going to be like, Jesus Christ, we got top 10. That's fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's, excuse my language. You're live on Facebook.
All right.
I'm frustrated.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll let you go, Ahmed, but thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thanks for having me. I'll see you guys on the other podcast. Thanks for
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll be
Thanks,
here.
Amit.
So it's always good to hear other people talk. So welcome anytime.
Cheers, buddy.
Thanks, Amit.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Oh, don't have anyone else in the chat or in the to join in the stream at the moment.
Yeah, we've had lots
there's
of
a few
people in the chat. The chat's been very busy. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Good
being
discussion.
active. So yeah, the more active we can get, the better. Because like I said, we're gonna need to stick together to get through this tough season that we've got ahead. So
we're in this together.
Yeah, no choice. We've committed to this team, and no matter what we try, we can't get off.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we might wrap it up there. We're going on about an hour, so that might be just long enough now after what we've got. But stick with us through the international break. We've got hopefully a podcast or two to come out. Don't think we'll do a live show. We'll leave those to post games, but podcasts to come out, maybe some writing from us complete novices that don't know what we're doing, but we'll give it a go anyway. So maybe some opinion pieces from us on the website. We'll share those if we do them. But keep happy, keep healthy, and hopefully better times ahead, Joe.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. See you in the next one.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.